वेलकम टू बी लर्न में आपका स्वागत है। सब्जेक्ट इंटरनेशनल बिजनेस फाइनेंस, सेशन नंबर 16, and that is the last session of this subject, domestic and international financial market. Topic covered in this session: saving and investment, financial markets and instruments, functions of financial market, ways of classifying financial market, primary and secondary financial market, money markets and capital markets, international money markets, types of equities, stock equity exchange, the cyber trading revolution and its international ramification. Now, saving and investment. देखिए, as you know that y equal to c plus s. It is a formula of economics which shows the functions of earning, consumption and saving. Y means total earning of a consumer or a company. C consumptions and S is the investment. तो हम ये कह सकते हैं कि किसी भी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन की अर्निंग कंजम्पशन और इन्वेस्टमेंट पर कंजम्पशन और इन्वेस्टमेंट में डिवाइड होती है, विभाजित होती है। तो सेविंग एंड इन्वेस्टमेंट, द मेजर पर्पज ऑफ फाइनेंशियल मार्केट्स इज टू चैनल सेविंग टू प्रोडक्टिव इन्वेस्टमेंट, और हम उस सेविंग को प्रोडक्टिव इन्वेस्टमेंट में सेव करना चाहते हैं। सेविंग इज अ फॉरगोन कंजम्पशन, दैट मीन्स फ्यूचर के लिए, फ्यूचर में कंज्यूम करने के लिए हम सेविंग करना चाहते हैं। एंड इन्वेस्टमेंट इज अ एडिशंस टू द स्टॉक ऑफ कैपिटल गुड्स, और इन्वेस्टमेंट का मतलब होता है कि हमने जो सेविंग की है उसमें कुछ और वैल्यू एडिशन हो, इंटरेस्ट आए, सीरीज ऑफ फंड इनफ्लो हो, उसके लिए हम इन्वेस्टमेंट करते हैं। कैपिटल गुड्स, गुड्स दैट मे बी यूज टू प्रोड्यूस अदर गुड्स और सर्विसेज इन द फ्यूचर, या हम इन्वेस्टमेंट कर सकते हैं कैपिटल गुड्स में। ऐसे गुड्स, ऐसा सामान जिससे हम फर्दर प्रोडक्शन कर सकते हैं, जैसे मशीनरी, बिल्डिंग्स, लैंड्स, they are also producer. And now financial market and instrument. Financial instruments also called security or underlying assets. What are financial instruments? Just as surgeon uses tools or instrument, so do people in financial markets. But here the instruments are in the form of पेपर डॉक्यूमेंटेशन। वहाँ पर जो है आपके इक्विपमेंट आपके आयरन से या अदर मेटल से बने होते हैं, यहाँ पर जो इंस्ट्रूमेंट हैं ये आपके पेपर से बने होंगे। दीज इंस्ट्रूमेंट कनेक्ट बायर्स एंड सेलर्स, और यही इंस्ट्रूमेंट सेलर और बायर से जुड़े हुए होते हैं। क्लेम्स दैट दोज हु लेंड देयर सेविंग हैव ऑन द फ्यूचर इनकम्स of the borrowers who use those funds for investment, used to undertake crucial exchanges of financial resources, help to reduce risk of financial loss. The function of financial market: savers dollar in financial market or invest the dollar into the financial market. Then financial market invests such dollar to the companies, and in return financial instruments to the financial market, and then financial instruments to the savers. So financial market facilitate the transfer of funds from savers to those who wish to invest in capital goods. For instance, companies that wish to undertake investment project offer financial instruments to savers in exchange for funds to finance the project. Ways of classifying financial market: by the type of instrument such as stocks, bonds, etc. Primary and secondary financial market. By terms to maturity, money markets and capital markets. Now, primary market, a financial market in which newly issued financial instruments are purchased and sold. ऐसा मार्केट जहां पर पहली बार उस इंस्ट्रूमेंट को इश्यू किया गया है, वो आपका प्राइमरी मार्केट होता है. इनिशियल पब्लिक ऑफरिंग IPO ऑफ स्टॉक्स आर अंडर रिटन एंड मार्केटेड बाय इन्वेस्टमेंट बैंक्स. Underwriters means the investment bank guarantees the initial fixed shares price. And now secondary market, a financial market in which financial instruments issued in the past are traded is called secondary market. या हम ये कह सकते हैं कि वो इंस्ट्रूमेंट पहले से ट्रेड किए जा चुके हैं, पहले से इश्यू किए जा चुके हैं और उन्हें हम किसी सेकंड पर्सन से जब परचेज करते हैं, पर्सन इंक्लूड्स फाइनेंशियल इंस्टीट्यूशंस लाइक स्टॉक एक्सचेंज, तो हमारा सेकेंडरी मार्केट होता है. ब्रोकर्स, इंस्टीट्यूशंस दैट स्पेशलाइज इन मैचिंग बायर्स एंड सेलर्स ऑफ फाइनेंशियल इंस्ट्रूमेंट इन सेकेंडरी मार्केट. ऐसे इंस्टीट्यूशन, ऐसे पर्सन, ऐसे ऑर्गेनाइजेशन जो बायर और सेलर को मिलाते हैं, उनको इनकरेज करते हैं या उनको प्रोवाइड करते हैं फाइनेंशियल इंस्ट्रूमेंट, वो आपके ब्रोकर्स कहलाते हैं फॉर द पर्पज ऑफ कमीशन. सेकेंडरी मार्केट हेल्प मेक फाइनेंशियल इंस्ट्रूमेंट मोर लिक्विड. मनी मार्केट्स एंड कैपिटल मार्केट. फाइनेंशियल मार्केट को हम दो भागों में बांट सकते हैं. एक मनी मार्केट होता है तो दूसरा कैपिटल मार्केट होता है. मनी मार्केट मीन्स द मार्केट वेयर द इंस्ट्रूमेंट इज ट्रेडेड फॉर शॉर्ट पीरियड ऑफ टाइम. जब हम शॉर्ट पीरियड ऑफ टाइम के लिए इंस्ट्रूमेंट को ट्रेड करते हैं, मनी मार्केट कहलाता है. एंड द मैच्योरिटी इज लेस देन 1 ईयर. अगर हम कैपिटल मार्केट की बात करें तो उसमें जो है सिक्योरिटी लॉन्ग टर्म के लिए ट्रेड की जाती है, मोर देन 1 ईयर के लिए ट्रेड की जाती है. ऐसे मार्केट को हम कैपिटल मार्केट कहते हैं. एंड नाउ शॉर्ट टर्म मैच्योरिटी मनी मार्केट्स, मैच्योरिटी ऑफ लेस देन 1 ईयर, इट्स अ कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स सर्विस करंट लिक्विडिटी नीड्स. और इसकी ज़रूरत हमें कब होती है? जब हमें अपनी करंट लिक्विडिटी को इंक्रीज करना है, एनहेंस करना है, तब हमें शॉर्ट टर्म मार्केट की ज़रूरत होती है, जिसको हम मनी मार्केट कहते हैं. इंटरमीडिएट टर्म मैच्योरिटी कैपिटल मार्केट्स, मैच्योरिटी बिटवीन 1 ईयर एंड 10 ईयर्स और मोर, फंड लॉन्ग टर्म कैपिटल इन्वेस्टमेंट. लॉन्ग टर्म मैच्योरिटी बॉन्ड मार्केट्स, मैच्योरिटी ऑफ मोर देन 10 ईयर्स, then instrument of money market like first treasury bills, T bills. अब देखिए, यदि हम ट्रेजरी बिल की बात करें तो ट्रेजरी बिल्स मीन्स द बिल विच इज इशूड बाय द गवर्नमेंट बैंक टू द गवर्नमेंट, आइदर स्टेट और सेंट्रल. सो शॉर्ट टर्म डेट ऑब्लिगेशंस ऑफ द फेडरल गवर्नमेंट issued with maturities of 3, 6 or 12 months. No explicit interest payments, sold at a discount, highly liquid, active secondary market, safest of the money market instrument. These are the characteristics of the treasury bills. ट्रेजरी बिल आपके 4 तरह के होते हैं। एक सबसे जो शॉर्ट पीरियड का ट्रेजरी बिल होता है वो 14 डेज मैच्योरिटी का होता है। सेकंड 90 डेज और 91 डेज की मैच्योरिटी का होता है। थर्ड जो है 182 डेज की मैच्योरिटी का होता है। और जो फोर्थ ट्रेजरी बिल होता है वो आपका 364 डेज की मैच्योरिटी का होता है। इसके बाद सेकंड इंस्ट्रूमेंट आपका कॉमर्शियल पेपर, जिसको हम सीपी बोलते हैं। अ शॉर्ट टर्म डेट इंस्ट्रूमेंट इश्यूड बाय बिजनेसेस इन ल्यू ऑफ बोरोविंग फ्रॉम बैंक्स। जब बैंक से हम बोरोविंग करते हैं तो कॉमर्शियल पेपर इश्यू कराते हैं। सर्टिफिकेट ऑफ डिपॉजिट सीडीज, टाइम डिपॉजिट इश्यूड बाय बैंक एंड अदर डिपॉजिटरी इंस्टीट्यूशंस दैट आर नेगोशिएबल इंस्ट्रूमेंट ट्रेडेड इन सेकेंडरी मार्केट। ये नेगोशिएबल इंस्ट्रूमेंट होता है। और नेगोशिएबल इंस्ट्रूमेंट की विशेषता क्या होती है कि ओनरशिप इज ट्रांसफर्ड एट द हैंड ओवर ऑफ द एसेट्स, कि जिसको भी आप उस एसेट्स को दे देते हैं ओनरशिप उसी का हो जाता है। फॉर एग्जाम्पल, जैसे सेल्फ का चेक होता है, सेल्फ लिख करके अगर आप किसी को चेक दे देते हैं तो जिस पर्सन को भी आप दें, आपने 1 पर्सन को दिया, उसने सेकंड को दे दिया, सेकंड ने थर्ड को दे दिया, तो जो भी बैंक में प्रेजेंट करेगा उसको वो मिल जाता है। तो इसी तरह का डॉक्यूमेंट्स जो है आपका सीडी होता है। कैन बी रीसोल्ड इन सेकेंडरी मार्केट, सेकेंडरी मार्केट में बेच सकते हैं इसे। मिनिमम डिनोमिनेशन ऑफ रुपीज ऑफ $1,00,000 इन प्रैक्टिस टू ट्रेड इन सेकेंडरी मार्केट द मिनिमम इज $2,00,000 और $20,00,000। लेकिन इंडिया में अगर हम बात करें तो मिनिमम 25 लाख रुपए से ये शुरू होता है और इसका जो डिनोमिनेशन है वो 5 लाख पर एनहेंसिंग है। दैट मीन्स 25 लाख, 30 लाख, 35 लाख, 40 लाख, इस तरह से आप जो है इसको इश्यू करा सकते हैं। Then repurchase agreement, a contract to sell a financial assets with the understanding that the seller will buy back the assets at a later date and typically at a higher price. Usually the financial assets sold is a government security used by bank and large corporations. Then federal fund market, the money market in which banks borrows from the lend to each other deposits that they hold at Federal Reserve banks. Generally very short loans, often overnight, basically a market for excess reserves. Banks that are short on excess reserves borrows from banks with such reserves. Borrowing bank pays an interest rate known as the federal fund rate. Banker's acceptance, a bank loan typically used by a company to finance storage or shipment of the goods. Instrument created in course of financing international trade. Banker's acceptance is a bank draft like a check guaranteeing future payments. Active secondary market. Money market instrument outstanding like billions dollar, treasury bills about $9,500 billion. Commercial paper is traded highly to the corporate, which is about $1,300 billion. Certificates of deposits about $1,000 million. Euro dollar about $300 billion, repurchase agreement about $500 billion, federal funds about $300 billion or more than $300 billion, and bankers' acceptance is very few, about $10 to $20 billion. Capital mobility, the extent to which savers can move fund across national borders for the purpose of buying financial instrument issued in other countries. International money markets. Markets for cross-border exchange of financial instruments with maturities of less than 1 year. Many such instruments traded, the biggest being the market for Barry exchange. International derivative securities whose returns are derived from other instruments are sometimes classified here as well. The euro currency market. Euro currency market, market for bonds, loans and deposits denominated in the currency of a given nation's but held and traded outside that nation's borders. Euro commercial paper, a short-term debt instrument issued by a firm and denominated in a currency other than that of the country where the firm is located. Euro currency deposits, banks deposit denominated in the currency of one nation but located in a different nation. Cross-border positions of major World Bank exchange rate adjusted changes like US dollar in December 2004, 2,614.9 billion dollar, estimated change in the year 3,346.2 billion dollar, other currencies 4,316.8 billion dollars, change 546.1 billion dollar estimated, liability US dollar 2,298.0 billion dollars, estimated change in year 2004 372.7 billion dollar, other currency 2,733.5 and change 221. So total in December 5,331.5 billion dollars and estimated change was 593.7 billion dollars. And this is the deposits held on offices of US Bank, like in 1998 to 2005. We have seen that it is increasing continuously. Like in 1998, about 575 dollars value in foreign deposits, 99,650, 2,700, 2001 it was reduced in 625, 2002 once again 650, then 2003 it was raised about $725 million, and 2004 about $825 billion, and 2005 it will reach the $850 billion. So the green curves is shown as versus yens, and blue is a pound and black is the euro, and this is the figures of upgradation of the various currency or international currency. Capital market instrument equities. Equities, shares of ownership such as corporate stock issued by business firm. Owners of equities are residual claimants on the income and net worth of a corporation, meaning other debt holders of the corporation are paid first. The rate of return on equities varies with the profitability of the firm. Dividends, periodic payment to holders of corporate equities, and types of equity. Common stock, shares of corporate ownership that entitle the owner to vote on management issues but offer no guarantees of dividends or of market value in the event of corporate bankruptcy. Preferred stock, Shares of corporate ownership that entail no voting rights but entitle the owner to dividends if any are paid by the corporation and to any residual value of the corporation after other creditors have been paid. Then stock equity exchange. Stock exchange is organized marketplace for corporate equities and bonds. New York Stock Exchange NYSE, the oldest 1792 and largest exchange where roughly half of the stock trading in the United States is done. Shares of more than 3,000 companies are traded there. The number of NYSE membership position called seats is fixed at 1,366. Over the counter OTC stocks, equity shares offered by companies that do not meet a listing requirement for major stock exchanges or choose not to be listed there, and instead they are traded in decentralized markets. National Association of Securities Dealer Automated Quotation NASDAQ, the electronic network of 500 dealers over which most over-the-counter stock are traded. Microsoft, Intel and Cisco trade on this exchange. Quotation: YTG 52-week, CHG 40.1, HI 27.18, LO 12.61, then next minus 8.5, 40.45, 33.35, then 13.1, 29.98, 19.18, then 9.1, 41.95, 27.06, then YTD minus 7.3, high 25.50 and LO 16.32, and then YTD CHG percent 14.1, 56.80, 36.86. Stock SYM, JLP, JLG, Industrial, JP Morgan Cash, JPM, dividend minus 0.2, Y Limited percent minus 1, price equity 35, volume 100s, 40,989, close 27.5, net change 0.38. Next time 1.36 is the dividend, yield 3.8, price equity 30, volume 90,262, close 35.71, net CHG 0.11. Then next 32, volume 25,194, close 28.92, net change 0.35 negative. Then next is 17, 2033, close 40.22, change minus 0.26. Then next dividend 0.21, then yield 9.9%, price equity ratio 18, volume 4,420, close 23.241 and net change 0.69. And last one is a 25 is price equity ratio, 1,763 was the volume and close 54.51 and the change is 0.03. 52-week HI, highest dollar price of a share of JP Morgan Chase common stock during the past 52 weeks, which was $40.45. 52-week LO, lowest dollar price of share of JP Morgan Chase common stock during the past 52 weeks, which was $33.35. Stock corporate name of JP Morgan Chase, symbol identifying JP Morgan Chase, which is JPM, division annual dollar dividends per share, which was $1.36 per share, yield percent, stock yield measured as annual dividend as a percentage of the closing price for the day, which was $1.36 dollar divided by $35.71, which is multiplied by 100, or approximately 3.8%. PE ratio of the stock price to the annual earning per share, which was equal to 34 JP Morgan Chase. Volume hundreds of JP Morgan Chase shares traded this day, or 9,26,200 shares. Price of JP Morgan Chase shares at a day's end, $35.71 per day per share. Net change, dollar changes in the price of JP Morgan Chase shares relative to previous days trading, which was an increase of $0.11. Corporate bonds, long-term debt instrument of corporation issued by corporation, usually have excellent credit rating, pay interest twice a year, and principal at maturity. Maturities range from 2 to 30 years. Convertible bond can be redeemed for shares of stocks. Treasury notes and bonds. Notes have maturities ranging from 1 to 10 years. Bonds have maturities of 10 years or more, issued by US Treasury to finance deficit of federal government, pay semi-annual dividends, and return of principal at maturity. Securities of US government agencies, long-term bonds issued by various government agencies that support commercial, residential, and agriculture real estate lending, student loans, General National Mortgage Association, Ginnie Mee, and securities backed by value of household mortgages. And our municipal bond, long-term debt instrument issued by state and local government, long-term instruments issued by state and local government to finance expenditures on schools, roads, college, dorms, and etc. One advantage is tax status, exempt from federal income tax and also state taxes for investors living in the issuing states. Mortgage loans, long-term loan to individual homeowners or to businesses for purchase of land and buildings. Mortgage-backed security, financial instrument whose return is based on the underlying return on mortgage loans. Commercial loan, long-term loans made by bank to businesses. Consumer loans, long-term loans made by banks and other institutions to individuals. Not as many secondary markets for these bond loans. Capital market instrument outstanding, treasury notes and bonds about $3,000 billion, US agency security about $3,000 billion, municipal bond about $2,500 billion, corporate bonds $3,000 billion, mortgage instrument about $10,000 billion, commercial paper about $100 billion, consumer loans about $80 billion, and corporate equity about $14,000 billion. International capital market, euro notes, medium term debt instrument issued in a currency other than that of the country where the instrument are issued. Euro bonds, long term debt instrument issued in a currency other than that of the country where the instrument are issued. The cyber trading revolution and its international ramification. Electronic trading began in the 1990s. Companies like Intrade.com, etc. can now buy stock online. Electronic communication network link buyers and sellers of stock around the world. Lower fees and transactions cost, speedier access to market information and trades, lower printing cost to brokerages. Some companies now offer commercial paper online. Cyber trading revolution and its international ramification. International cyber trading has taken off course. Computer assisted order routing and execution system, CATS computer assisted trading system, and many others all making for computer purchase and sale of security. International cyber trading concerns rules for securities trading in a global environment. Not all nations have the same trading rules. Exacerbations of financial uncertainty leading to crisis. Enforcement of capital controls restricting the ability of a nation's residents to hold and trade assets denominated in the foreign currencies. Cyber technology makes such control more costly and difficult. Vehicle currency. Vehicle currency, a commonly accepted currency that is used to denominate are transactions that does not take place in the nations that issues the currency. The US dollar has traditionally been the predominant vehicle for international transaction. Shift is toward the use of multiple currency, that is euro, yen and pound. A timelines of vehicle currency. Dollar is the latest in a long line of vehicle currencies. It was started in pre 600 BC. Nation Babylonia currency shekel. In 1900 2000 it was started by US nation. Leading vehicle currencies. US dollar bank cross border position in foreign currencies assets 56.2%, bank cross border position in foreign currencies liability 57.7%, international money market instrument 28.4%, international bond and notes 46.5%, euro 24%, 21.1, 50.8, 37.3, Japanese yen 5.6, 4.6, 2.4, 4.5, British pound 5.2, 6.4, 13.7, 7.0, all others 9, 10.2, 4.7 and 4.7. And now do it yourself. What is the main economic function of financial market? And question number 2, what are primary and secondary markets for the financial instrument? And that's it from session number 16. Thank you. Happy learning. Be learning.